Morning all, TC Techs back out again. Look at that, cropped field, back on my own permissions. I think this is first field farmers done on this one, so this is one of my larger permissions, 500 or so acres. This is what me and the farmer call the lion field, because I once found a cloak clasp for Victorian policeman's cape, which had a little sort of clasp shaped out of a lion's head, which was a very nice find, still one of my favourites. Also had lots of hammers off there as well, so exciting to be back on my own permissions. As you can see, this is like done this week, so that stubble is going to be extremely spiky and tough to get through, but at least we've got the crops off. So we're going to start this morning with the Manticore, because obviously I've just got one and I've had all of about 4 hours on it so far, so we're going to give that a whirl on there. The afternoon, probably, depending on weather and everything else, probably swap through to the Versa, which is in the car as well. Feeling a little bit guilty about all my detectors at the minute. I went through a little rash of getting extra ones for a variety of reasons, but Deus II and the Legend II, I haven't really had a lot of time. Legend II in particular, not had a lot of time with. What I'm thinking of doing is taking a few days off work now that the crops have started coming off. Maybe a couple of weeks for the stubble to get a little bit more flexible and die off a little bit. And then maybe come out with all of the machines and have a whirl. Right, anyway, enough waffle. That way, with the Manticore, off we go. Okay, so first signal down here. 17, so not great on the target line, but I'm sure you can see that the blob was in the middle. Now, it's heading towards a little bit of ferrous there, but as I'm still getting used to the machine, worth a dig. So you can do this live. The ground is very dry but very soft here at least, so we'll see how dry that is. Would appear to be out. So look. There, by the look of it. Oh, does it come down? And we have a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of something. Blobby bit of low brass maybe? No, it'll come over higher. Whatever it is, it's a blobby bit of undescribable and unidentifiable something.
Subscribe to Metal Detecting News to find out what's going on in the hobby.
Next up is here. Higher VDI, 33, 34. Blob is in the middle again. Again, touching the bottom ferrous, but we'll give it a whirl because we've just got on the field. So, all exciting. Another one like the last one, or the first signal of the day, should I say, that was very surfacey. Not sure we'll get a lot of depth, even using a deep machine, just because no moisture. Somewhere in there. I think. Oh. Perhaps unsurprisingly for a TC Detect video, we have a little buckham. Now this field does have quite a lot of buttons on it, but they tend to be in that bottom corner, I found. Don't know if there's lots of shoddy being put down there or something in the past, but there we have reasonably old bottom. At least it's the right shape.
We're standing near York Road in Rickhall, a historic village in North Yorkshire with roots stretching back over 1,000 years. The area is most famous for its pivotal role in the events of 1066. Just before the Battle of Stamford Bridge and the Battle of Hastings, The Norwegian king Harald Hardrada landed his massive Viking fleet of around 300 ships right here along the River Ouse in Rikal. They set up their base camp in the area before marching on York. Historically, Rikal was an Anglian settlement and later developed as a quiet agricultural village with many historic buildings and a church dating back to the Norman period.
Should say that Rikal is over that way. Never found anything Roman on this site, but sorry, anything Viking on this site. I have found Roman, but nothing Viking, unfortunately. One of these days.
It is fascinating that you have found Roman artifacts on this site instead. Even though the Vikings famously used Rikal as their base camp in 1066, Roman activity in this part of Yorkshire was extensive, especially with York, then known as Eboracum, being a major Roman fortress and capital just to the north. Finding Roman remains here shows just how long this specific piece of land has been occupied and utilized, long before the Vikings ever arrived. Keep searching, and perhaps those Viking finds will turn up one of these days.
Here we are now on the side of the footpath, which goes all the way along, all the way through village over there. I've never followed it all the way down, to be honest. However, you notice this is a field that has got crops in it regularly. So this footpath moves sort of every time it's ploughed and every time the farmer puts a new set of crops in. Always here, and it's always sort of over there that way. But the actual location of the footpath will shift slightly over time, and as you know, walkers and dog walkers and that sort of re-establish it every time there's a new set of crops on it or taken off it. So it's always worth, if you've got a footpath like this on one of your fields, going either side, because that's where the footpath will have been 2 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 100 years ago. So always look to go either side of old footpaths, partly because they move, partly because things bounce off, because this can get quite hard, so they can bounce off as well. So you've got the bounce factor, but also the drift factor, depending on the type of field it's on. Less drift on pasture, but equally you'll get bounce on pasture. So yeah, so a tip for footpath exploring, and it is always worth exploring footpaths, obviously. Anyway, right, back to the actual detecting and less of the tips. Next signal is out. 38, 39, 40. The blob sort of in the middle, but quite big and a little bit misshapen. See what it is. Is it that there? Yep. See something round? Do we have another button or first coin? I mean, that looks pretty, but it looks like a button. That's stud. No, it's a button. Yeah. Back. There you go. Unusual button. Quite like that. Nice. Well, the blob was a bit bigger. A bit bigger button. Interesting. And the find at the bottom of the hole after that orbit was this little thing, which feels like tin. It doesn't look particularly old, but it has 2 holes in it. Interesting. And next up, I've just clicked out in this clod. 50, low 50s. Blob is in the middle with a slight downwards under towards the bottom ferrous. See what that is? In this. And there we go. We have a little coin, I think. We do. We have a silver sixpence, is that? Looks like it's a young Victoria. Yeah, young Victoria. Silver sixpence. It's very warm, but I might be able to get a better idea of it later. But there you go, that is I mean, it's not hammered, but it's a very similar size, shape and thickness. What's that? Couple of inches down. Like I said, this weather, not going to get much better from a depth point of view, but there you go. Burst silver for the Manticore is a pre-decimal sixpence. Nice. And next up, down in the sort of lower 20s, is another partial button. No loop on the back, shank broken. But yeah, another button. And just down there in the 50s for the Versa, about 2 inches down, is a little musket ball. Say little, I wouldn't want to be stopping that with part of my body. Yeah. Musket ball. Next up for the Versa this afternoon is a very battered, but nonetheless real 4-hole bottom. Not had a 4-hole today, so that's the first one. Quite a little one actually, but yeah, 4-hole bottom. Heading back off the field, the car is just there under that tree, hopefully keeping cool. Signal down here, still in hole. 28-ish, decent line. See what that is. Not had as much with the Versa but this afternoon, but not had as long with the Versa. Had that nice musket ball. See what we get here. Inside wall here somewhere. See something poking out, and it's a blob of something. So you might give a decent signal, but a blob of lead by the flexibility is, there you go, blobby lead.
Metal Detecting News has even more great prizes for lucky subscribers this month.